You turned the door sign to closed so you can handle the Baxter affairs without interruption. You like to deal with customers though. Talking to people for a long time is hard because they always mention modern things you don't understand or famous TV shows you never saw. But you're really good at short interactions with clients, half professional, half personal. So. How many times have you cut down the price of those Aztec figures? Keiner will sie. According to the information you found, this billiard pipe, surely of the Canadian variety, will be the perfect gift for Victoria Baxter. Also. Habe ich ja schon ein Geschenk. Jetzt wollte ich gucken, was da in der Box drin ist. A simple box, the type you use to package certain articles and gifts for clients. Jetzt höre ich wieder eine Melodie. So, könnte ich doch jetzt... The box will be a good place to put back the spy pipe in, once it's ready. Was ist das, der Drucker? The light tells you it's out of ink, so the image you send from the laptop can't be printed. Pauline's dad died hanging from there 4 years ago, months before you met her. Okay, also hat sich aufgehängt da oben. Blöd. They're in the shop since the last owner gave it to Petit. They're false. For the last 20 years, every time someone asks about them, the person behind the counter, you, the last 3 years, says, I'm really sorry, they have a huge sentimental value and they're not for sale. Was ist das? The kind of paper you use to decorate certain articles for your customers. The antique store's calling card is almost as old as the articles themselves. Those free brochures of the Tout Petit are really taking their time to run out. It says a lot about how old things are here. Ja, also wie dicke Bücher. A Chinese piece from 1960 that's been on the counter since the last time the lights were cut off. Also, Druckerpatrone hat sie auch nicht. Steuerung ist gerade heute ein bisschen hakelig, ich habe keine Ahnung. Und da hat so einen SD-Kartenslot. Ah, siehste. Defying all logic, you extract an SD card from the SD port. Juhu! Also den habe ich gefunden. You bought this laptop in New York a couple of years ago when you went there to bring Boris back here. Much better than French AZERTY keyboards, where Q and W swap places with A and C. You use this computer to research pieces, manage the shop's accounts, and from time to time play Crusader Kings. You love how realistic the game is, especially how you keep dying throughout the ages. Was auch immer. So. Gut. Jetzt habe ich die SD-Karte. Da oben gibt es auch noch Sachen. Eine kleine Tür. Was ist jetzt hier? The cross made by Pauline's father is a reproduction of the original and has an intricate aperture mechanism that makes the wheel spin, unblocking the drawer hidden in its base. The 4 slots are for the 4 pins in the back of the smaller cross. Petit was a weird fellow. How come he hit something like that in such a piece? So, was habe ich jetzt? It leads to a small attic in the commercial part of the shop. The door on the other side is hidden by a huge painting. You cleaned the attic only yesterday. There's nothing in there that can help you convince Victoria Baxter. Okay. The last friend you had when you caught yourself choke.
Hey, Boris.
Say, Joke.
You haven't parked the van yet?
Nope. I'm gonna finish up with something first, and I'll get to that in a jiffy.
What something?
Surfing Facebook. It's important.
Did they send you the results from your last checkup?
Nope. Did I tell you he hit my knee with a little rubber hammer? It was crazy. My leg went boing, and I laughed my ass off. Now I do it all the time. Boing, boing. You try it.
Dafür hat den Hammer gebraucht. Ach du meine Güte.
About this TV show. You know, the one where you saw Victoria Baxter? Which TV show was it that Baxter was on today?
One with famous people nobody knows. They're having breakfast with journalists who don't know what they're talking about. And no one sees because they're on at a time when everyone's still snoring.
Are you sure she said she was looking for a ño?
No. They asked her what she'll do now that she lives in Paris. She said she'd make a sweep of the antique shops in the city in search of Japanese art, which I have a soft spot for, especially for the carvings.
So.
Did she happen to mention anything about her love for tobacco?
Nope. Wait, yes. When they asked her how she liked her breakfast, she said, "It's even better than the French standards. Happy birthday. Only a good pipe could improve it."
Why were they interviewing her in the first place?
Because they didn't have anyone else, I guess. But they said she is one of the most important collectors in Europe and wants to start her own little Japanese museum in Paris.
Which TV show was...
One with... And no one...
How much do you think we can ask Baxter for the sculpture?
Before he lost his mind, Boris's job was to price things.
Oh, what a nuisance. But don't tell the boss I helped you, okay? Date? Origin? Author?
It was made by Unkei, the most highly valued sculptor from the Kei school in Japan at the end of the 12th century.
Conservation state?
It was in very bad shape, but Pauline's father, he did an amazing restoration.
Around 600,000 euros. Happy birthday.
There's something I need to ask you about our previous life in New York.
Oh, Choke. Really? Again?
I know we've talked about it a lot of times, Boris, but I'm certain somewhere in my past there's a key to who I am and why I'm like this.
Oh, okay.
Now tell me again, how did we meet?
I was in the station, sitting on a bench, waiting for... you know.
I know.
You sat beside me, not saying a word. You offered me half a sandwich.
I know we've talked about it a lot of times, Boris, but I'm certain somewhere in my past...
Oh, okay.
Hä? Warum sagt er es jetzt
I
wieder?
started to think that the demolished station was a church, and that we were members of the Inquisition. Why did I think that?
No idea. You talked a lot of nonsense. I liked that, because you were acting crazier than me. And you got food and things for us.
I know we've talked about it a lot of times, but I'm certain...
Oh.
Ja, also wenn du es jetzt jedes
Do you
Mal
think I
sagst,
could
naja.
ever become Choke again?
Well, Choke, you still are Choke. Younger, but time will change. You are less crazy, though. We're both improving, aren't we?
I know we've talked about it, but
Oh.
Ja, nervt.
what exactly was it like? when you saw me die, and then resurrect for the first time.
I laughed my ass off. I thought, so all that nonsense about eternal life is true.
I know we've talked, but
Oh,
do you have any idea why I went to that station in the first place?
you were sure that Cadway was related to Cadwallader, and that Cadwallader had something to do with the Inquisition, and someone with ginger hair.
You never told me that before.
Maybe. Or maybe you've just forgotten that I have.
I know we've talked about it a lot, but
Oh,
I thought I asked you to buy ink for the printer.
and I did.
But there's no ink in the printer.
But you asked me to buy it. That's all.
Logical.
Okay, wo ist es?
Okay. So would you be so kind as to give me the ink cartridge for the printer, please?
With pleasure, Choke. Just ask me.
Sonderlich effektiv ist der Boris ja nicht.
Happy birthday!
Aber er macht's ja, immerhin. So. Ich kann dir die SD-Karte geben.
Here, I guess you'll need this to take the pics.
Oops, thanks. Where was it?
In the laptop slot. You left it there, I guess.
Oh, sure. I emptied it yesterday. Old pics. The ones we took from that Tibetan mortar.
Okay. Kann man mit dir noch...
Have you taken the photos of the statue?
I'll have
Ich
them
hab
in
dir
no time.
gerade die
Don't worry.
SD-Karte gegeben.
Hey, I know what to gift Baxter.
Are you sure we need to bribe people?
It's not bribing. It's called diplomacy. Anyway, Baxter is a pipe aficionado, and it's time that we get rid of the billiard pipe.
John, that costs money. We can't afford stupid gifts.
It's not a stupid gift. It's a clever investment.
Okay, John, you win.
There's only one detail missing. Could you paint Baxter's B on the pipe?
Okay, give me a sample of that bee and I'll take care of it.
As soon as I print it. Here's the pipe.
Okay, also die bin ich jetzt auch erstmal los. Dann bin ich jetzt fertig mit Reden. Hab ich das gesagt?
Any progress with the statue's documentation?
Not yet, but I'm on it.
I know I met your dad when I was Choke, but I'd love to meet him now again, now that I'm myself.
Why's that?
I don't know. I just thought that when remembering that your dad hid his diary in the base of the cross. Everything you tell me, everything he did, he was special. Just like you.
And complicated. Thanks anyway.
I saw some red drops in the shower. Did you hurt yourself or something?
John, why do you think I took 2 showers today?
I don't know.
It came just after the first shower.
What came?
John, have you learned nothing about women in 500 years?
Oh, right. I get it. Talking about your period.
Oh gosh, he's going to start talking about kids
Well,
again.
you had it a couple of weeks ago, didn't you?
It's come up before. Tension, the debts.
An email arrived from the Antiques Association of Paris for the annual party thing.
I don't think we can go. Too much work.
It's just one night. I mean, it's not like we get invited to a lot of costume
Then you remember, last year you dressed up as Einstein. Pauline wore a Guy Fawkes mask and she was in a bad mood all night. You didn't have a clue till you came back home and saw Joke's pic in your room.
Okay, you're right. Way too much work. How can you work with that music?
It gives me energy. The opposite of those prehistoric lullabies that you like. Wait, if I tell you that it's a mysterious redhead playing this track, will you like it better?
So...
Also gut, ich gehe mal zurück. Seltsamer Gang. rüber. Drucker. Ja, einfügen. Alles klar, jetzt habe ich das B. Und das kann ich jetzt wieder meiner lieben Pauline bringen. Das mache ich jetzt noch und dann mache ich für heute Schluss.
Here is Baxter's B, so you can paint it on the pipe.
Die Übergabe
You're such a
Videos
pest.
finde ich gar nicht so schlecht. So, gibt's irgendwas Neues? Nein. So, jetzt wechsle ich um zur Pauline wieder. Dann kann ich hier beim nächsten Mal weitermachen. Ich verabschiede mich für heute. Ich hoffe, es macht euch Spaß. Ich finde es eigentlich ganz cool. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Euer Videospieler.
Dieses Video ist nun vorbei, aber wenn es euch gefallen hat, dann schaut doch mal meine anderen Videos an, abonniert meinen Kanal, folgt mir auf Twitter oder unterstützt mich finanziell auf Patreon. Vielen Dank.